Every day, historic buildings across America are being torn down, and what's inside can be lost or destroyed forever. But not if Mike and Robert get there first.
Bring it down just a little bit.
From an old farmhouse to an abandoned mill, together they restore, repurpose, or resell whatever salvage they can find.
Yeah, this is a no fun thing.
They're saving pieces of history and America, one salvage job at a time.
The value just keeps going up.
They are the Salvage Dawgs.
Oh boy. What's up, boys? God.
It's human carnage.
I think you can get arrested driving around the city with that. It's alive! Nah.
What do you got?
Don't
Hey,
say
what's
a
up,
word.
Hannibal?
I was just out getting gas, man, and I was passing this old department store that was closing down, right? And this was just on the curb. You know, some guys, they were loading some stuff up.
Is there a full body among it?
I don't know, man. They wanted it gone, and I threw it all in the truck. I think there's a full body back in there and some other miscellaneous stuff. I think you can make a couple of full bodies. There's a weird shape.
Give me five.
Hey, there you go.
Body parts. Nothing like a truckload of body parts.
A couple of baskets of biceps.
They're hot. Come get them now.
You know, it was a marginal load to begin with. But, you know, the funny factor was the only redeeming quality to that thing.
I got back scratching.
Yeah. It's my girlish figure.
Uh-oh. Wonder where the rest of that is.
It's the Queen. Hello. All my subjects.
Uh-oh.
Stop drinking. Macbeth.
No, it's not Macbeth.
To be or not to be. A mannequin.
How do you put a price on a torso?
About $50.
Oh.
Maybe 25. What are we going to do with these guys?
Okay, so
What
we
can we do with
take a few of them, right, and put our T-shirts on. We've got, a new apparel line that just we're trying to work on.
Sleeves. We're going to sell sleeves.
You know, you can sell that stuff. And the beauty of something like this is you do not say it's for this or for that. It's whatever you want it to be.
I think we should, like, bury them with the arm sticking out of the, just like have an arm garden. Mommy, what is that?
The old arm guard.
Look away, son. Look away.
Good to have an arm guard. Folks, good news is we got a local salvage project this week.
Yeah, that is good news.
Bad news is it's 200 feet off the ground.
That's the good news, too.
That sounds kind of cool.
I think you're going to need a good ground man on this one.
Are you volunteering?
This is St. Andrew's Catholic Church downtown.
yeah.
The spires are going to have to be replaced. So this is a big project that we're lucky to be able to participate in.
Absolutely.
That is amazing.
So these are the spires at St. Andrews, all right?
Yeah.
So we've been invited to go over and take those off by Durable Slate out of Ohio. They're doing all the reconstruction. We're going to be assisting them in taking all the copper elements off, plus the crosses. And then we're going to market them for fundraisers for the church.
For the church,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Which, I mean, this is a big bill. This is millions and millions of dollars that this project's going to cost.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So what else we got?
Will Farmer, auctioneer, going to meet us over at the other warehouse to take a look at that nativity scene that we pulled down from the Bluefield Church.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's going to come check it out, give us an opinion on what we should do with it, restoring it, leave it as it is it any value to it or not? And, it's in a little difficult shape.
It's a little crusty.
It was difficult when we rolled it up.
Well, everything's difficult for us, isn't it? Brutal truth.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, honey.
I have this idea for these shelves.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about using doors and ceiling tins.
Okay.
5 panels, and each panel would be filled in with tins.
Is this something you would use yourself?
I would use it, definitely.
Yeah?
I think it'd be cool.
Cool. Well, let's go take a look.
Okay.
All right, come on. Gracie, she's back for the summer, coming back from school and wanted to build something. And we went at it. Run-of-the-mill, 5-panel door, flat panel, because if you want to put tin on it, you don't want to have to mess with a raised panel.
Yeah.
Gracie's got a good design eye. So it's fun to work with her. She's kind of refreshing, because I get kind of stale, and it's fun for her to interject, her vision. So what we're going to do, we're going to lay it up on the table. You keep your hands away from the blade, and you push this side through, okay? Have you done this before?
I did. I did learn this in art school.
All right. We're working down in the wood shop. She's had some experience with us before, but to learn how to fabricate in school at VCU, she's getting a lot of hands-on. Y'all use nail guns in school?
I have used a nail gun, yeah.
It goes a long way, because she's going to be probably a textile designer. So, you kind of need to know these things. These are nuts and bolts of any industry. Screw 'em. Hello? like it, Grace. It's looking good. It's a good idea. Once you put some paint on it and get the shelves in, it's going to be cool. Tay's over in the weld shop. Why don't you go grab him and employ him to maybe put a little bit more bling on it?
Okay.
All right?
All right.
See ya.
Hey, how are you?
David, how are you?
I have this lock I've been trying to fix, and I have no clue what to do with it.
Let's take a look at it. This is a good lock, probably from the 1920s. It's gummed up, which is fairly typical. You know, painters paint the face of them, then everything gets gummed up. Like they're supposed to have a lock here. You know, there we go. This latch right here is all painted shut. Obviously won't work. And then we've got this portion right here is supposed to have a spring steel, similar to this one, that we'll put back in here, and I've got a stock of that. $40, I'll restore it, and that should work perfectly like the day it was made.
You know, I've got a lot of locks to sell, but I typically try to see if the lock that they have has got some life left in it. It's not complicated. Boil the lock, you throw it in hot water, brush with a Scotch-Brite pad, take the paint off the edge, and rebuild the lock on the inside. And he's got the original lock back in working like it was supposed to. Probably haven't worked that well in 40 or 50 years.
Hey, Tay, me and Dad are making this shelf. We want to put some cool iron piece at the top.
You want to show me the shelf?
Yeah, I'll show you what we've done so far. It's like a shelving unit.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
So we want the metal work like right around here. We could even maybe do a metal piece that goes all the way across so you can set the shelf in.
Yeah, we're getting the band back together here in the shop. Me and my sister and my dad. So it's cool, you know. We'll be able to stamp it and say, Whiteside made. So I ended up fabbing up some S's.
Oh, nice.
But I want to find something to draw into the end of that.
Just like a basic shape. Because since this is already cut out, I don't think we need more cut out.
I'm just going to stick them in the grinder real quick and clean them up, and they'll look good.
I trust you.
Nice. Thanks. Couldn't have done it without you.
I know.
What do you say, Will?
Hey guys, how are you?
Great. Appreciate you coming out.
We had set up an appointment with Will Farmer of Farmer Auctions. He's a local appraiser, and he was kind enough to come over and take a look at this art piece that we had in storage for quite a while. I don't know if it's worth anything.
You ever seen anything like this before?
I haven't in this size, but where did you guys get this from?
We did a salvage job up in Bluefield, West Virginia, and this was hanging up in the church. The guy told me he didn't know where it came from. He just said, hey, it's the nativity scene. They hung it up.
Wow. How cool. Let's take a look at it and see if we can figure out where it's from and who made it. In the right-hand corner here, you see Erie Litho Co. They made offset print lithograph type stuff, but primarily for circuses, for advertising, for things like that. So this is a little uncommon to see from them.
Honestly, I didn't have a whole lot of expectation, high or low, with this. You know, in my mind, it was a big Sunday school project for some kids in about 1915. So it's not a fine antique. I just want to find out how well I should take care of it and how much I should price it and sell it for.
There's a couple things we can take a look at and kind of decide that from, starting with its condition. You can see the paper is starting to flake here, right? It's been rolled, it's been folded, it's got lost in several areas here around the border as well. You've got separation, but all in all, it's in fair to challenged condition.
I love that term, challenge.
Well, that's a way of telling somebody, you know, you really have a pile of crap right there.
So the second thing is its size. I mean, it's a really large piece. You're going to have to find somebody that has room to put it up. Right? Okay? The third thing is the subject matter. Culturally, Christianity, the birth of Jesus, from a value perspective, the value of nativity scenes have never really taken off the same way that, say, a circus poster from this era would be worth.
I guess a circus poster would be a lot more marketable because of its novelty.
And I'm not a circus fan myself, but I understand that there's a good market for it, so I'm a fan of that market.
Robert was traumatized at an early age from the clowns.
Clowns are bad.
So, don't take that personally, clowns. He really loves you.
So after taking a look at everything, based on its condition, size of it, and the subject matter, a few $100s is probably what it's worth in the retail market in its current condition. But it's a neat thing. You find the right market, you definitely have a buyer for it. There's no doubt about it.
It's priceless.
There you go.
There you go.
Priceless, right?
And we were hoping it was worth, you know, 1,000 or thousands, but it turned out a couple $100 probably all we can get for it. Bummer. Wah, wah, wah.
We are at St. Andrew's Catholic Church, Roanoke, Virginia. Big restoration project. Durable Slate Company and Durable Restoration are replacing these massive spires on the top of this church. There's some termite damage and some other things that have caused it to become a concern. We are here to salvage the copper and the cross on each spire.
We're going to be doing some fundraising with these parts to pay for this project.
Yeah, because as you can imagine, it's a pretty expensive project.
Yeah.
So, any questions?
I have a lot.
All right, well, just hold on to them.
Let's get to work, guys. 1, 2, 3, go!
This is going to be a real high-profile job for the Roanoke Valley because it's such a prominent structure in the community. We're invited by the church and Durable Slate to come in and participate with this extraction. They can do it without us, but they wanted to be inclusive of a local company for posterity. So there's no upside for us as far as money-wise. It's just being there, and we were lucky that they involved us with it.
Process is number one, we got to pull the slate off the surrounding area so that then we can pull this dormer off, top and bottom, and as large of a section as possible.
Yeah, there you go.
Just wiggle it a little bit.
There it is.
All right. One down. Or one up.
Each one of these steeples had decorative copper dormers on them. They were just thin copper nailed over a wood framework that was applied to the outside of the steeple.
All right. There we go. Good job, everybody.
The goal was to take these dormers off, and then there was a couple other decorative foil wraps around the bottom. We're just removing these items for the Durable Slate Company. But the first thing is we wanted to do no harm to it, because they got to use this stuff for sample patterns to replace these spires.
Okay, start going one way or the other.
All right, there you go.
Good job, guys.
Good job, A-Team.
Awesome. Copper can live outdoors, as you know. It's been living on these spires for over 100 years. So the patina of the copper was the typical green, and then that's it. It doesn't turn into anything else. That's its patina.
Yeah, I mean, it was just beautiful stuff. And when the whole thing goes back together, it's going to be pretty shiny. But the process is going to start all over. Eventually, it'll get that verdigris color, and maybe my great-grandkids will see it the same color as I do.
Looks like the Statue of Liberty. Just a piece of it. This is awesome. St. Andrew's, kind of like a beacon of Roanoke. And this side note, my great-grandmother was a member of this church, and I'm about 5'11". My great-grandmother was 4'11". She's a foot shorter. She wore 3-inch heels and went to Mass every day, and she was amazing. I mean, this is her church. I mean, it's just an honor to be here in her memory.
The summit, man.
All right.
Look at this.
You definitely don't get up here too often. Top of the world.
Oh my God! This is like my favorite job.
It is awesome.
Get up there, and it's like there is nothing in your way. You got 2 crosses and the whole valley and mountains everywhere. I wouldn't trade the experience of being up on top of that for just about anything. It was awesome.
The view is incredible. You don't get to go to this height in this town very much. I mean, there's a couple of high-rises in downtown that have this view, but not from the church. The only people who have a view from that are people who are flying in to Roanoke. They fly right over the top of that church. See these targets? These were for laser surveying. They would take a bearing on every axis, and as they shot them, they could tell how much this steeple was moving. These bars are plumb, so it's going this way and that way.
Yeah, it's past its time. Expiration date is today.
There you go.
You know how to selfie?
I do know how to selfie.
Nice.
Good job, guys.
Wow, they didn't even need our help. Hey, Mike, you gonna be able to solder that back together?
We got 2 parts, Robert.
Clean cuts, right?
Get your solder and iron ready. These spires were built with technology of the day, which is wood. And through the years, there's been termite damage. Back in the 60s, there was a fire in the west spire. But what's happened now, they're starting to lean, and they can't let that happen. So it's time to take them apart, document them, and then bring them back to life.
When the wind was blowing a little bit harder, you'd be standing there, you could see the steeples moving. You know, the scaffolding was stable, and you could see the relationship between the 2 of them, and it was like, maybe that's why they've been monitoring the situation.
It was time. Now, we came in and peeled these things off. It was great. And all we got left to do is the cross. We're following Durable Slate's schedule. The crosses are coming off tomorrow. And then that's it.
You can tell, that these things need to be changed because the wood was a little soft. It all kind of came out easy. So it's a good thing we were here to save this stuff.
Dun, 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 dun.
Save yours.
Cool. This is a situation for Captain Salvage and his son.
The boy, Salvage Wonder.
Scrappy.
God day 2 up here, and it's time for the crosses to come down. Durable Slate and Black Dog cooperating to take these things down.
All right. Good to be back.
So again, this is a fundraising operation here. This is a big project that needs to be paid for. Our local news crew is going to be up here watching from a chopper.
This is a big
Watch it all
deal.
happen. Yeah, it is. Obviously, it's not a huge metropolitan area here in Roanoke, so this is a big deal.
Yeah, we don't have our own chopper here either. I think they had to bring it in from outside
What's that
here.
noise?
Sounds like a chopper to me.
All right, we better get started.
Flight time. Reporting from the top of St. Andrews.
Traffic is extremely heavy. Delays about 30 seconds or more on
pretty
the
crowded
581
today.
Expressway.
All right, guys.
Do it. These crosses will come down very easily. They're not heavy. It's just the moment, because those crosses have been there for so long. And so they're the iconic pieces of a spire. So it's, the reverence of it, and the symbolism of it was more what the day was about than the actual work. We're going to let Grayson cut this one, guys.
Let's roll. 1, 2.
The first one, the Durable guys cut off. The second one, Grayson got to do the cutting. She had a smile from ear to ear. Awesome job, Grayson.
Didn't that felt amazing?
She was just really happy to be there and back in her psyche knowing that her family was such a key member to this church. And here Grayson is a part of the new history of this church, and her great-grandmother was part of the old history.
That was invigorating. I was thinking about my Granny Mary the whole time. Holding the saw, it was so visceral, actually cutting the cross down, and good things are going to come back up, so that's what it's all about, the cycle. Yeah.
Grayson made the cut. We got it down, and it was awesome. And just being on top of the world like that, the cross, and just the beauty of the place. Most enjoyment I've gotten out of a salvage project in a long time.
Everybody had a good time. How can you not? The view is great, and the chance of being up in that position again in our lifetime is 0. We'll never do it again.
That's right.
Thank you for letting me cut that, Mike.
Oh, you kidding me? That's all you.
That was good.
That was epic. Epic. All right, I want to show you how the shell turned out.
Yeah? You happy with it?
I am. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Oh, man. This is awesome.
What do you think?
I know I always say that, but this is truly a nice creation. I think it's perfect. I mean, from where I left it down in the shop, what you did with this is incredible. I mean, I love the color, too.
Yeah.
This will go in a lot of different houses. I think it turned out really great.
It's awesome. I love the recent doors because we have a lot of doors.
Yeah, we
and
have
it's
to
like,
find,
you
we have to
find-
add value to
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it's got a nice mix. It's got a little bit of that iron in it, and I like the paint scheme. It looks good.
It's not too over the top.
No, it's nice.
Good job, girl.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'm so proud of you. You gonna take this back to college with you?
I'd like to, so...
Yeah, I think this is a real marketable piece, and it's salvage. That's the thing, we don't use new product on any of our pieces if we can help it. The nails and the screws are new, but, other than that, the glue is new.
I like the way we don't reuse glue. I think it's a good policy. Well, we got another busy week. A lot going on. I mean, a truckload of body parts and a cool shelf. Got a little bad news, good news on the lithograph. And really one of the most fun salvages we've ever had.
Yeah.
And just a great opportunity. I don't think I'll ever forget it.
We won't. Feather in our quiver.
Yeah.
Is that the right thing? Feather in my cap. That's it.
Arrow in your quiver, feather in your cap, but hey,
Feather in my
220, 221.
Whatever works.